Welcome to the Romance Your Tribe podcast with me, Janet Beckers, where every episode is about action, creating an online business you absolutely love, and bringing joy to the work you do. Let's get this party started. Well, hello beautiful people, Janet Beckers here, and in today's episode I'm going to share some big lessons that I have been internalizing over the last couple of months that have come from my quest to be amazingly full of energy and also really, really strong. So I may not look like your typical weightlifter, but that's what I've been doing the last few months. And it's the way that I've been getting results in that area of my life have given me some really great insights that I can now translate over into my business, and that I can also share with you that can help you to simplify and grow your business. So unusual sort of approach, but it's really making a difference for me. I've been making changes to my own business that have come as a result of weightlifting. Okay, so let me share the story with you. So what the structure that I'll be following in this podcast, because I always like to know the whole structure so I know what's coming ahead. First of all, I'm going to share with you, why weightlifting? What is it, that I have been doing, and why did I do that? Then I'm going to share you as I walk through the way that I've been getting results. I'm going to walk through with you the decisions that I had to make and the changes that I've had to make to behavior and the changes I've had to make to mindset. Very systematically, I'm going to walk through what happened at this stage when it came to the weightlifting, and then what is the concept that was my aha from that, and then how to translate that over into your business. So we'll go through each step. So each step will be the aha in the weightlifting translated to the business. And then at the end of that, I'll also share with you what changes that I've been making to my business. Because this is the whole idea of me sharing it with you, is I've been seeing the results that happen through my health, and then I'm also seeing what happens in my business as I start to translate that over into my business field. So there's another episode that I have done a few years ago, which is called, it's about the business athlete. So I'll put some links down below to that as well, because it's also got some really good lessons from the health journey that I was on pre-pandemic. Okay, so that'll give you a bit of a tip on why I'm doing what I do. So step number one is I had to get super clear on why I was going to really focus on my health. Now, the thing is just before the pandemic hit, I had been really focusing on getting strong, getting full of energy, and losing weight, and I was feeling fantastic. So once we started having lockdowns here in Australia, I was already in a system. So when other people were baking sourdough, I was organising friends and family, and we were having virtual workout sessions, and it was great. We continued our health, felt great. I don't know if you're like me, but in the second year. So 2020 was all right. 2021 came along, and I don't know if you like for me, it just became, I'm over this. I am so over this whole thing. I really noticed that my mojo dropped. I was really not giving a toss about a lot of different things, including my health. I was finding it difficult to keep my enthusiasm up for business. Everything just kind of I was over it. And I think I probably speak for millions of people out there. We were all doing it as well. And also, that is probably for millions of people, this is not a Janet that I'm familiar with. I normally am enthusiastic about so many things. To not really care It's really, really unusual for me. I did not like this. So at the beginning of this year, so we're now in 2022, we're recording this, I started thinking, all right, enough is enough. Lockdown's finished here in Australia. And so I thought, you know what? It's time to take control again here, girl. And I also turned 58. Then I thought, whoa, running out of time here, girl. I've got a lot that I want to do. So then I thought, okay, I'm really going to focus on my health. Why? Why am I doing that? And it was for two reasons. Number one is I wanted to get a lot of energy because I was starting to have a lot of naps. And that comes a lot also with this whole mojo thing, is I thought, you know what, I want to feel, my big goal is I want to have boundless energy. I do not want to have these long sleeps every afternoon. You know, I've always been a napper, but I'm happy to have like a 20-minute sort of like nanna nap and back into it. None of this waking up 2 or 3 hours later. Yeah. So I wanted to have boundless energy, and I knew that that had to happen at a physical level. But I also knew that that had to happen at a mental level. And so I had known from past experience that one of the best ways for me to start getting my mojo up and feeling positive and full of energy, mental health wise, is to really focus on health, physical health as well. Because the process of making sure I eat really cleanly and do a lot of exercise and getting out, doing that, has its really positive mental health, and that has worked. So this is first thing, is I want you to get super duper clear on why. Now, when it comes to your business, I want you to think why. Why even run a business? You could be an employee, a lot less stress, I can tell you, or you're like me and you're unemployable. You just know that you would take over anyway. So it may as well be your own business. So, you know, why? Why are you choosing this business? Why? What's the mission that you want to do? I want you to really think about that, okay? So that's number one. For me, I had to really connect with that because I was losing interest in everything around me. And so I had to really connect with that. And for me, apart from lifestyle goals, like Janet's perfect day is traveling around the world, going to a music festival and wild swimming, finding places out in the wilderness where I can swim. Combine the two, happy Janet. So apart from that, the thing that really drives me is I absolutely love working with people who are great at what they do and really seeing their brilliance. Really seeing their brilliance, because that is my superpower. Seeing their brilliance and help them to believe in themselves. And through that process, creating something fantastic which helps people worldwide. So helping them to take what they do and work internationally, not be limited by one-to-one. So that really, really drives me. Really, really drives me, excites me. So I had to really connect with that in the business. What's the thing that drives you? Okay, so we've got that. So the next thing I thought, okay, if I'm going to go down the path of I want to create boundless energy and good health. That was my main thing. You know, losing weight, looking better in clothes and stuff like that, that was the bonus, okay? For me, it was around boundless energy. So then, if that's what my goal is, there's so many ways I could do this. There's so many ways to be right. And I can spend a lot of time going on YouTube, following people on Instagram, trying this workout technique, trying this way of eating, all of these different things. But finding the one that is right for me. Also, what is right for me at this stage in my life. Hey, hello, anybody out there that's, post-menopause, your whole body changes. So how, what works best at this age? I really wanted to work that out. So for me, I thought, you know what? The best way for me to do this is just get an expert, get a personal trainer, and I already had the perfect person from pre-pandemic, which was gorgeous, gorgeous Laura. She's just fantastic. So, and she also watches this podcast, so hugs to you, Laura. So I knew that I would go with somebody who already had a system, who knew their expertise, that I knew I could trust. So when it comes to your business, first of all, there's so many ways to be right, okay? There are so many ways to be right. And this is where people go, they'll make mistakes where they'll see that this person's got great results, they'll do their program. It doesn't work for you. You might have trouble implementing. You either think it's yourself that's to failure or your mentor was a failure. But most likely, it's just that way of building your business, whatever their particular focus is, was not right for you. Not right for what your goals are and the way you like to work and what your strengths are. But it may also be not right for your stage. I see that a lot. People enrolling in courses that are way too advanced yet, they haven't mastered the basics first, or vice versa. Okay, so that's your next thing there is, take that time I want you to think about, like, what is it that what's the way I like to work with people? What does my lifestyle look like? Think about that first, okay? Because that way you can make an informed decision about who's going to help you, because then that's going to save you so much time, so much heartache. And also getting the right stage, if you go to the homepage of romanceyourtribe.com, you'll see that I have selection there of 5 different entrepreneurial star types. There are 5 different starting stages in business. They're not all one after the other. They're 5 different places that people start at. And so you'll see which one you are. And then I've got a guide there that can help you to get the right things in the right order for that stage. Okay, so that can be a great way to help you. Right, so we're focusing on that bit there. Right, now we know what the goals are, the big goal. We know what, we've chosen the right mentor that's going to help you to get there, because it's going to be faster and you want to make sure you're a good match. The next thing then is, okay, this is the big goal. What is the system? What's going to work for me? So that's where your expertise comes in. So that's where Laura's helped me and we'll go, okay, well, what are the goals that suit you? So for me, I had certain things that have got to do with my lifestyle I wanted to do really well. For example, I want to be able to, after I do laps in the pool, which I do with friends a few times a week, I didn't want to do this really clumsy, like a really clumsy sea lion plopping out of the pool and then flop, 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 and finally scrambling up. I wanted to be able to jump out of the pool, land straight on my knees, and then get up. I just did not have the strength. So that's what we focused on. We focused on weights, and which, by the way, for if you're around my age, which means, over 50s, weights is a really, really important part for your health. So that's an important thing for you to do. And it's also really important to get somebody who knows what they're doing, because you don't want to damage yourself. Same in business. You want to get somebody that knows what you're going to do, so you don't make mistakes that's going to really slow you up. Okay? So, So we worked out of our different goals, things that I wanted to achieve. And so same thing's going to happen with you in your business. You're going to know, because you've got the guide of somebody who's helping you, right, what are the steps that I have to do? When am I going to do it? And how do I know that I've achieved it? So this is the next goal here for you to keep in mind, is achieving your goal. Sure, you have, this is what I want to achieve. It doesn't come down to you going, okay, this is how much money I want to make this month. Because you could be measuring, you could do stuff all, and at the end of the month go, I didn't get my goal, I'm a failure. Or you could have been doing the wrong things, but you weren't measuring them. And then you get to the end of the month and, I didn't get my goals. I'm not doing the right thing. The thing is, once you know what are the actual actions that you need to take in order to get the results, and I'll go into a bit more detail in a tick, is that's what you're measuring, your actions, okay? So when it comes to us doing our weights with beautiful Laura, and by the way, I only have to do it for 2 half-hour sessions a week. You're not there lifting really, really heavy things, for hours and hours and hours a week. You don't have to. It's going to do you damage anyway. So you get results focusing just on the right things and just doing that well. So when it comes to with our doing the weights, is my expert had said, okay, this is what you need to focus on. We're going to do these exercises. We're going to lift these things to work on these muscles. Now, the thing that is very easy to do is see your success as being lifting heavier and heavier weights, which of course that does work. But you don't get there by setting the goal of, right, by the end of this week, I'm going to be lifting, I'm going to be doing a deadlift of 50 kilos or 100 kilos, whatever. You don't do that. What you're doing is you're first of all going, okay, this is the action I need to do because that will get me the result. Okay. So in an example might be in your business, if the way that you convert sales is to get on the phone and have a sales call, well, how many sales calls are you doing? How many people are you actually getting to register for a sales call? So, and what's your conversion rate? So those sorts of things, that's what you're focusing on. Like, how many sales calls have you done, right? That's what you're focusing on. Now, what we're doing is before we even start doing lots of repetition, before we put the weights up, we spend a lot of time making sure that form is really, really good. That the way that I do it is absolutely perfect. Now, that means I've never ever been hurt. And I've never walked away going, oh man, that hurt my back. It's hurt my muscles, but not for too long. So that's never going to happen. So the same thing is going to happen in your business. So this is your big lesson I want you to take away. Is once you know what your goal is, once you know the steps to get there because you've found a mentor that can show you the right way to do it, once you know that these are the action steps that are actually going to get me the results, for the example, how many sales calls, or it might be something completely different. How many people have registered for my webinar, for example, or whatever it is that's going to work for you. Then it's going to be, well, how good am I at doing it? Like, have I taken the time to really learn how to do great sales calls so that I actually feel that, it's a really positive experience for me and the client and more people buy? Or how good have I made my systems so that it really filters out the people who are very unlikely to buy anyway? So you're only getting the right people on the call. How good are your systems there? So it could be you as a personal skill. It could be systems that you do. It could be procedures that your team or a virtual assistant is doing for you that helps to perhaps bring in new customers. So these are the actual things that you want to make sure you're doing your form right. Okay, before you get distracted and try doing a different exercise, or before you go, yeah, I can lift a heavy weight, like I can, go much more sophisticated and complicated. Make sure that you're focusing on doing those basic things and doing them super duper well. Okay, so that brings me around to the next step. Now, this is not necessarily a mantra that I've used when doing the exercises, but it's exactly the same thing, but it's perfect for you in your business. It is the rule of one. So we're going to get the perfect form in the rule of one. And the rule of one means you have one offer that gets results. So that's why I always start with a higher priced offer, a signature offer that we create that gets awesome results. We do a foundation program. We do that and we do it really, really well. And then you just focus on that, okay? You're going to make sure that you get great results through that. You're going to make sure that your sales letters is perfect, your sales resource, the way that you sell, whether it's on sales calls, whether it's through a webinar, through it's speaking from the stage from somebody else's platform. You're going to make sure, whether it's paid ads, where you're going to get really, really good just at that one way that you get those that traffic there, the one way that you sell. If you're going to be using social media, sure, you might have a presence everywhere, but you're going to really get good at one. Okay? So rule of one. Make sure that you're doing it really, really well. And once you know you're doing it really well, just focus on your reps. Get more and more repetition, more and more repetition before you try and do some other fancy new exercise, okay? Before you try to get sophisticated. A lot of the people that you will see in the space where they're selling either courses or whether they're selling a program where you can be working one-on-one but you're still following a program, focusing on 1 till you get to 7 figures is a really powerful discipline, and it's also a great way to mean that you can scale up without you having to create all new things. So that's my challenge to you, is using your mentor. If you're working with me, we have a system that gets you there, and we really focus a lot on strategic relationships. So you don't have to master expensive ads and even have a mailing list, So we focus on that, and you creating this awesome program and getting the best sales system that's going to work for you. We focus on that, okay? So if that's what you want to do, contact me. That's how I can help you, okay? So I want you to choose. So what are your number one things that you're going to be doing there? And then really focus on mastering your form. Once you know you've got your form right, really ramp up your reps. Just keep on doing it over and over and over and over. So you get really good at it, okay? And then you can start getting more sophisticated. You can start adding on the extra weight, okay? But those lessons that come from focusing on health and focusing on mastering the skills of building strength are the same things that come around to you building strength in your business. Now, my original goal with health was to stop having these afternoon naps and to be full of energy. And the reason why I decided to record this podcast today is just over the last 3 or 4 days when I've run into people who I haven't seen for a while. For example, my hairdresser, hello, new haircut. People who I've seen down the street, just friends that I haven't seen for a while, their reaction was, wow, you're looking really healthy, really full of energy. And so I thought, oh, and actually, yeah, I feel that way. And I'm not having to have the naps. And I feel full of energy. I feel strong. And that's only after a few months. So that's why I thought I would share that with you today, because I can feel the results. So now when it comes over to my business, what am I focusing on? Because I've been taking what I've been doing here and really focusing on how can I translate this to my own business. And a lot of it is really, really reminding myself that the things that come naturally to entrepreneurs, which is getting an idea and taking action. The flip side of that is there's always so many ideas and you can keep on taking action. And next thing you know, you haven't focused on the thing that was your number one, because you've got distracted with this other exciting idea, which you can tell yourself is really important. It's gonna make it better. But the reality is, if you haven't really nailed and you haven't really focused on your systems for the number one, it's not really going to get you there. Okay? So I'm really focusing on everything in my business is leading towards my Attract Your Tribe Academy. Now, I also have my accelerator level, where I work with people at a much closer level. But instead of me focusing on my marketing there, is I just focus on the academy because it attracts the same people anyway. And then I can just cherry pick and invite people to come and work with me closely. So the academy, everything goes there. So every time I get excited about a different offer that I can do, this would be an easy program for me to create. No. Everything is there. So for me, the way that I stop myself focusing on other areas is I remember form. Get your form right. Do the reps, just do the reps. Okay. For me, when it comes to my sales process, the way that works really well for me is running webinars, running live webinars, talking people through it and letting people make decisions. So I'm really focusing on perfecting a webinar that can be running evergreen so that people can watch it when they want it. They don't have to wait for me to open up. and do a live launch. So I'm focusing there, and once I know that I've got that right, then I can just add in some extra live launches, okay? But I'm focusing on really making sure I get those reps right, that I get that form right, and then I just focus on repeating. And for me, when it comes to my traffic, is really refining our systems that have got to do with strategic partnerships, and then all of the systems that we create there, updating them in our academy, because that's we're refining what we do in our company and give it to you in our academy. So really refining that. And then I've brought in somebody to help me so that I can really get good at Facebook ads. So that's I've been doing this for a while, okay, with the relationships. So the Facebook ads, I thought, okay, I want to get good at that. That's a good exercise for me to do. And when it comes to social media, even though you will see me everywhere, I seem as if I'm everywhere, a lot of that's been done by my team. I'm really focusing at the moment on Instagram because I've never really focused on it too well, but I've noticed that a lot of my target market now, which use Instagram more and more. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to really focus on there. And everything else, I'll still have a presence there, but that's my number one. So I keep on reminding myself of that. So, and I have little notes to Janet that I have everywhere, which is all about the rule of one. It is all about the master your form. And then it is all about, okay, do the reps. Those three things, just focusing on those three mantras and me having little notes everywhere keeps me focused on what's going to make the difference. And so I would love to hear from you. So that is in a summary, the lessons that I've had that have gone from really mastering the skills to be able to lift heavy things with the very strategic outcome to have boundless energy. Okay, so for you, when it comes, these are the lessons that you can now translate into your business. Number one, you got to get super duper clear on why you're doing what you're doing, because when time gets a little bit tough and you can perhaps, lose track of why you're doing what you're doing, you can revisit that. Okay, so be really clear on what you're doing. Get also clear on the way that you want to get there, like what feels right for you. Don't get distracted with, there's so many ways to be right. You just get clear on what suits your personality, your desires, your lifestyle, and then find the mentor that matches that. Because there's lots of great people doing brilliant work. They may not be right for your personality or the way that you're envisaging what you want to do, or they may not be right for the stage that you're at business. So that's your next part. And then the next thing we've got there is, okay, you need a plan, and that's where your mental point comes in. So you need to know what are the steps you need to do and how are you going to measure it. Measure your actions that you already know lead to results rather than only focusing on the results. Focus on the actions that will get there. That's what's going to get you your results. Once you know what you're going to do, I want you to focus on the rule of one. Because if you focus on the rule of one, and that's going to be one product, one offer, one sales conversion technique, one way of traffic, one social media. Focus on doing those really well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to perfect your form. So you are going to be doing those really well, either you personally having the skills or you developing the systems that other people do to make sure that it runs either on auto or that other people in your business can do for you. So, but really perfecting the form, perfect the systems, perfect your skills, just in the rule of one. Okay? Then once you've done that, ramp up your reps, baby. Then you can worry about putting on the extra weights to make it so that you're lifting bigger goals. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. These three things, the rule of one, the master your form, and ramp up your reps. How are you going to apply that in your business? I'd really love to hear from you. So wherever you are, one of the best places to come and share with me is come over to Instagram. If you can direct message me, you can tag aha in your stories and I'll share them out. So come over to Instagram. That's a great place because, as I shared, that's where I am focusing. Or drop me an email or all of the other social media. I'll still get a notification, so I'll come over and talk to you. And if you'd like to know more about what I do, just send me a message as well. Tell me about what your business is, and and if I think that I can help you, I'll send you an invitation to come and join me. Okay, so can't wait to hear from you. Please share your ahas. It means a lot to me. And go out there, take action, step into the feeling of scaresighted, that feeling when it scares the life out of you. But if it works, when it works, it's going to be so exciting. That's where the magic is, baby. So take those action steps this week. And if you're feeling scaresighted, step into it and know that you're on the right track. Okay. Go get them. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I loved hanging out with you, so let's do this again. The best way to do that is to subscribe right now to Romance Your Tribe podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to dive in deeper to more episodes, great resources, and really in-depth free training, come over and join me at romanceyourtribe.com. Bye.